What I'd like to look at now is a somewhat real-world example of a hash table in action. And what we're going to do is use this application to load up a document, parse the document out into the series of words, and then count the number of times each word is used. So what we're going to be loading is the Constitution. So there's a lot of words going on here, a lot of different things, but some good repetitive words as well. So we should be able to get some insight into how frequently words are used. So let's load it up. And we can see that all the words have been listed here. And we can sort the words by count and see that the was used 423 times, shall 191, or we can sort by word and start to see, there's quite a bit of words there. What we're going to look at here is that the hash table key is the word, and the hash table value is the count. And every time we encounter the word the, we look up the value and we increment it and then store it back. So that's where a hash table really shines. Key value pairs where we're updating the values and we have a stable key. So let's go ahead and look at how we did this. So our application starts with a hash table. It has the word string as its key type and the integer or the word count as the value type. Now this observable collection is a WPF artifact. I'm not going to dive too deeply into the WPF components, but this is the list that all the word value pairs go into and how the column sorting and everything was done. If you want to learn more about that, come and take a look at the code for the sample and start to dig into some of the concepts being used. But for the most part, we're just going to gloss over those. When we click the load button, we call the get file name method. This brings up the open file dialog. From that, we get a file name. We load our data file and we display the words. So load data file is very straightforward. If we have a file, we open the file, we read the file, clearing the hash table from the previous reads, just in case we had one in there to begin with. And while we're not at the end of the stream, we load each line. In load line, what we do is we split the line, and I put in some common things here, some punctuation, quotes, tab, space, pretty arbitrary, just things I noticed were in the Constitution. So we split it into the series of words, and for each word, I made it lowercase just so a capital the and a lowercase the would still show up as the. We store off the count, so we try get value on the hash table. Try get value with the word should return the count. So if it's the 8th time we've seen this word, the count will come back as 7 because it's the 8th time, we haven't incremented it yet. If we don't find the value, we store the value 0 into the hash table. And then we increment count plus 1 and store it back in the hash table. So as you can see, what we did here was we retrieve the value from the hash table, or we create the value in the hash table using add, and then we update. Now I could have used update here instead of the indexer, but I wanted to show off the indexer. And for the most part, that's it. That's what we're doing. We're taking our hash table, we're splitting the document up into a series of words, and we're adding each word in, incrementing a counter each time we see the word. And that allows us to display the words in the document.